Yeah, yeah. What they say? I'm so divine, I'm so divine. Imperfection, perfection, my presence shines. My mental is parasailing maritime. They say I'm destined to read the palm line. Yeah, I'm so divine, I'm so divine. Imperfection, perfection, my presence shines. My mental is parasailing maritime. They say I'm destined to read the palm line. Yeah, I'm so divine.
Welcome to the H.G.R.G podcast. Welcome to the episode. What's going on, Just Jerry, DT? What's going on, fellas?
One and only.
Fellas,
There's another, he's a phony in the flesh.
One question, guys. Lance, you still with us?
I'm half with you today.
I'm half with you. 1,000. Guy's batting 1,000 today.
Today's been a day. Let me tell you. But I'm here. You know what I'm saying? I'm here, and we'll roll with the punches. Let's see what today's episode brings.
Better step it up because free agency is at its all-time high right now. Baseball season just started back up. Free agency's back as well. You know,
did they come to an agreement?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
I can tell you right now, it's not ESPN because I should have known that. So, so at the end of the day, baseball season's here. You know, football season, can't wait. That's my joint. You know what I'm saying? And basketball, who cares? Because the Knicks are still terrible. Anyway, so we'll move on. I'm not trying to lose a New York crowd, but I'm just saying what it is.
Ooh, we just lost two right there. Okay.
That's fan, fellas. You know, what are we doing? But today, guys, listen, a few things were brought to our attention. You know, we're gonna read some stuff that we got here. We're gonna give you our perspective. You know, obviously it has to do with real estate. You know, the stories that we hear, we want to go ahead and give you our insight and then give you the best feedback we can. So we definitely want to get into that. How's that sound, fellas?
Let's do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's do it,
man. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Also, I'm gonna read out to you guys here. So this is called the COVID water. All right. About a month ago, into the COVID pandemic, our bathroom sink started flooding from the drain up. Apparently, an emergency room nurse lived above us and was washing her uniforms in the sink when she got home. But the water was rushing down the drain to the clog and coming back up through the bathroom sink. This was really before anyone knew exactly how it spread. My roommate and I couldn't get in touch with our landlord or super for 3 days and had to stay up all night scooping COVID water out of the sink and into the bathtub so our apartment wouldn't flood.
I love the verbiage there. Love the verbiage.
COVID water.
The COVID water. She said this was really before anyone knew exactly how it spread. She referred to a water leak like the virus. I love it.
Do you understand why she said COVID water?
Yeah. Because the nurse is the gown. Yeah,
the nurse gown.
Her uniform has COVID all over.
It's like zombie land. Get out of here with that shit.
We're over here scooping COVID water out of here because
Can you imagine those emails and those phone calls and those voicemails that tenant left on that landlord?
I don't want to laugh because COVID is a real thing right now.
Oh my God.
But I'm going to tell you that email or that text or that voicemail, I would start dying.
I probably would pay a small fee just to see people hear it.
What's funny is that I doubt that it was worded that way when it was happening, but now that we have more understanding what COVID is, I'm sure that this is what it's about. But can you imagine day 3? What's that phone call sound like, DT on day 3?
What? Listen, day 1, phone call 33. It sounds crazy. Day 2, day 3, I'm sure there was a death threat or two somewhere. Somebody was going to get their life taken of some sort of way.
They was definitely at the landlord's office, knocking and banging.
Somebody was going to get physically harmed 1,000% on day 3, for sure.
But my great, so Leah, my roommate and I couldn't get in touch with our landlord or the super. My question is why don't you go upstairs? and be like, hey, I think when you use the sink, this is happening.
Well,
The tenant.
But
well, most tenants probably wouldn't be able to narrow it down. They probably
Yeah.
found out afterwards that was
Depends
the
on how
cause.
big the
Yeah.
building is.
Yeah.
my thing would be, this is me because I'm thinking outside, but I would have called the plumber and then gave him the bill, gave the owner the bill. But
Is that a fight? Is that a fight that you're willing to fight though? Because so they could be, hey, look, I have a plumber. I have someone that works with me already in house. I didn't need to pay for that. I already, have funds established for stuff like this.
1,000%. You could argue that, but you didn't pick up the phone for 3 days. And I gotta swim in COVID water.
My sink had COVID water in it. I brought it to my bathtub and had COVID water in it. And I had the shower in there.
I had COVID tests and they got COVID water.
And you know what I'm saying? So I was swimming with the sharks. But
all my masks are wet.
The reason why I was a little hesitant on saying that is because not everybody has the money to upfront the bill. So if we're calling the plumbing, we have to pay for it and then take it out somewhere else. So that's why I was a little hesitant. But me personally, I would definitely call the plumbing and see what the plumber, and see what we can figure it out. And the bill will be going to the owner whenever I get to the owner.
DT, is it easy to get reimbursed for something like that?
Not always. No, not always. It definitely could become a fight because there's always 3 sides to a story.
1,000%.
We have situations like this where people call, right? This is the truth. This is their truth, right? But the reality of the fact is, there's a system set up. So when there's a regular maintenance call, there's a line that there's a numbered line to deal with. If there's an emergency, there's a separate emergency line. If all else fails, there's emails and text messages via a portal system that you can contact. So there's like 5 different ways you go to the office if you have to. 5, 6 different ways you can contact to notify somebody.
You're talking generalized as a property manager.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about I only own that property. I only own one property. I don't have a property manager,
mm-hmm.
and I went to vacation.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me what the proper steps on that.
Well, even if I only own one property and went on vacation, I should set up a system for my property while I'm gone. So the tenant, if they follow the proper protocol and this is the truth, then yes, I should be able to, because let's be honest, right? There's situations that'll happen like this. And let's say they did what you said, right? They called their own plumber because they were swimming in COVID water.
Swimming.
Okay.
Make sure we know that. Swimming
in cold water. So their plumber would charge them, let's say $400.
Correct.
Right. Your bill would be like $800. That's what the tenant's going to say to you. No
receipts.
Not really. I mean, they're going to have a receipt, but it's going to be $400, and they're not going to show it to you because they're going to say, "Oh, I had to pay $800 out of pocket to fix this, and you didn't answer the phone," and then, it becomes a fight. If you have a tenant who's, a lot more responsible and legit, they may be willing to show you a $400 receipt. Or, you got the people who, my brother's cousin's nephew is a plumber. He came over here. He charged me this, and I paid him out of pocket. He don't give me receipts.
That happened to me before. So yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. What you're talking about.
So I mean, at the end, you got to pick and choose your battles. You pick and choose. Does it make sense? Does it add up? If it was a $400 plumbing cost, what would it have cost you to do it? Is that around about right? Do they have merit? Did you not pick your phone up? Because if that's the case, then you are in the wrong. And you should do the right thing, which is credit them or reimburse them or whatever the case may be. But obviously, you don't want to be taken advantage of either.
Right.
But if they don't follow the proper protocol, though, like, because I've had it happen, like we've had somebody. I'm talking about, like, remember how I said on day 3 that call somebody's about to die. Somebody's gonna get all right. So we've had that right on a holiday weekend. Because emergencies always, not emergencies, like furnaces always go, hot water tanks always go Friday at 5:30. Saturday, weekend. You know what I'm saying? They never go during regular business hours. It's just the way.
Extended weekend.
And Monday's a holiday.
It's the weirdest thing in the world. It's the weirdest thing. It's just the way it works, right? So, you get a tenant who calls. When we get back to the office on Monday, they are right there at the door, ready to fight everybody. And what's going on? You try to, simmer down the situation. I called this number. You guys don't care. If it was your house, it would be this. All right, I understand you're mad. I get it. Let's have a conversation though. Come to find out, what number did you call? Oh, I called this number. Where's your lease?
Somewhere, man.
It's at home. I don't got a copy. Why are you asking me for my lease?
I'm talking about COVID water.
Okay, let me explain this to you. On your lease, it tells you what number to call for maintenance. It tells you what number to call for emergency. That number you called is none of the above. If you don't do the right thing,
to find another apartment.
She called the inquiry, the property, the apartment inquiry. She calls the line that we have dedicated to people who are looking for a new apartment.
I knew it.
That phone doesn't even go home with nobody. That phone stays in the office after business hours. The tenant line goes home over the weekend for emergencies, and the emergency line is always in the emergency guy's hands. If you don't follow the proper, and we have to lease every tenant, we sit down, and they sign off on it.
Right.
There's a specific paper that they have to sign off on.
They heard you.
Do you understand that if there's an emergency, this is the number you call?
Do you understand the words that come out my
mouth? Do you not understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? So there's always, like I said, three sides to the story. But if you do mess that package up, if you do, decide like to Jerry's point, go out of town and don't set up a system that, covers you while you're gone, when you come back, you shouldn't do the right thing. And if there's a credit that should be given, you should do that, or at least consider it for sure.
Right. Got it.
Totally agree.
Absolutely. And I agree with you. As a landlord, I would do the right thing. I mean, and I'm hoping you have a receipt, because that protects me as well. It makes me feel better. It makes me feel like you did the right thing, because I want to do the right thing.
Let me just add something real quick.
I got another question on top of that too, because that was a good point, Lance.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me add on to that situation. Water comes out. Water comes out. The COVID water comes out. Well, blah, blah, et cetera, et cetera. It starts damaging my personal properties. What happens?
Renter's insurance.
I have that. I don't have that, and it's not on the lease.
It is on ours, but if it's not on your lease,
we know what we do.
Right. If it's on ours, but
come on, DT.
Come on,
you gotta ask the questions that other people would ask. Hello.
Then I mean, really, if you don't have renter's insurance, then it's really it's kind of a law. It's a loss.
Is it a loss or is it a lawsuit?
I mean, you can put a lawsuit on anybody for anything. Are you going to win?
Let me cut you. I'm sorry. Keep your day job, Lance. Don't ever try to be a rapper.
I did the law.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
It's a law. It's a lawsuit. You guys get it right. You got it.
Now I got my fault, D. What's up?
Yeah. So,
is it a lawsuit or not?
Oh, I thought you were talking about the next question. You can law. Anybody can sue for anything, right? Are you going to win? Is there merit there?
It's the conversation.
It's the conversation. Is it a lawsuit? I mean, no. If you didn't do anything neglectfully to your property to cause that leak, I mean, there really is no, there's no. It's crazy because I could say that, but then I can create an analogy where you can become liable for it. So it really is circumstantial.
Correct.
Is what it boils down to.
Let the judge say who's right and wrong.
Yeah.
But hopefully it doesn't come to that, and hopefully, like you said, you have people go through the proper protocol, call the right numbers, so that way you can get the right help for you, and we can avoid all that. Right. So with that being said, I know you had another question. You said because
but I kind of forgot it. What did you say when I said that was?
I made a great statement that show me. I want to do right by you, but do right by me by having your receipt. Show me that you paid $400 for it.
I don't remember what I was going to say, so it's probably not important.
There's no problem. That's why I'm the host. That's why I'm the host. It's not a problem at all. So listen, so that's the answer for the one that's the COVID water. I have another one here that I want to read here, and this one's called The Rat Queen.
Wow, that's interesting.
It's about to be. I'm about to read it for the first time. So, we told our landlord there were rats in the basement, and she told us we were just being whiny girls about it. And she
my type of landlord. Yes.
And then she waited 2 weeks to call an exterminator. We ended up catching over a dozen rats, two of which were the size of kittens. Oh, I live in New York. When the rat baby took over the kitchen. Damn, I'm killing New York right now. The Knicks.
Yeah, we lost about 4 or 5 of them guys.
Let me stay on time. I apologize, New York. Two of which were the size of kittens. When the rat babies took over the kitchen, our landlord told us to just eat in the places they don't have rat poop, which didn't exist.
That's crazy.
Wow.
That's crazy.
So if you paid attention to our last video, we try to analyze and we gave both sides. And I think we're fair on this channel about giving both perspectives, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Of a landlord and a tenant. This right here is a slumlord.
Wait. We're assuming everything this person is saying is right. Right?
So what's the word I'm looking for? Right. What's it called? The one I'm looking for?
I can't read your mind, but
Yeah, please don't say organic.
No. It's that. Allegedly.
Yes,
allegedly.
Absolutely. Allegedly.
Yeah.
Allegedly, this is a slumlord. If what I'm reading is accurate,
Wow.
I mean, how could you?
Wow.
As a tenant, how could you accept that? And as a landlord, that wants to get paid, why would you run your business like that? We always say this is a business.
It does.
So why would you run your business that way? But DT, let me ask you this: as a tenant, how do you force the issue?
First of all, what are your rights as a tenant?
So I gotta. This is crazy. I didn't know this is a question, but I have a real life story. It just happened today.
Oh, this is you.
No, this ain't me.
Oh, okay.
A scenario that relates to this, right?
It sounds like DT uses those wording. Eat where there's no poop there. Yeah, that's different.
I want you guys to rewind back about a minute ago when Lance first started saying what the landlord told the girls that they're whiny. Who cheered the landlord on? That's all I want to know. But
my God, man, it was. Yeah.
I'm gonna have them edit it out. Don't worry.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go.
So,
who are you talking about, DT? Watch the edit.
If you say his name, I'll whistle. So, just today, I had a conversation with the owner and also with the city of Rochester regarding something similar to this. So, there's a property we took over about 4 months ago. Last week, he sends me an email. Man, I got this bill in the mail from the local municipality for $4,300, and I don't know what it's for. It just says abatement. So can you do some research for me and find out what it is? So I called and left messages. Long story short, the inspector calls me today. Can you tell me some more details about the issue? Yep, I'm going to put the owner on three-way. Come to find out, there was a rodent problem, a really, really bad rodent problem at the property. The city of Rochester tried to contact his previous property manager for a year about the rodent issue. The management team never responded. They never corrected the issue. The city gave them a year to correct the issue. There was rodent problem and a couple broken windows. So after the year, right, the city inspector ordered the abatement to be done by contractors hired by the city. The abatement and fixing the windows. So they did the rat and mice and whatever abatement, and they fixed the windows. They charged the owner $4,300.
How'd they gain access?
The tenant.
Okay.
But back to your question, how do you force their hand? So the tenant called the management team allegedly, and the management team was irresponsive. So then the tenant called the city, and then it's the city's job to kind of enforce the management team and or the owner to keep health and safety, obviously, at the forefront. For whatever reason, that responsibility was dropped, and then the city enforced that.
Asked, what are their rights?
Yeah, exactly. So the city enforced that, and they hired contractors, and they charged $4,300 to abate, to basically seal up mice holes and treat, with bait and trapping, and fix 2 windows. $4,300.
That's so sick. And
they charged that. So we took over November 1st, right? The city did the job on November 8th. So the owner sent us, and then the owner got the bill February 22nd. So they did the work in November. They didn't bill him until February. So when he got the bill, he sent it to us. He was
flaming on
filthy hot. Like,
right.
You know, it's like the worst mistake ever happened. Like, how could this? But he wasn't like antagonizing, or he wasn't like aggressive. He was just frustrated.
Right.
But then when I showed, I was like, well, this is the date that they did the work. We took over on this day. So first of all, we didn't know anything about this.
Correct.
So, you know, if you just go based off the date, that tells me that this is before us. But don't let me, you know, drop, you know, just pass the buck Chuck here. Because if it's my responsibility, you know, I'll stand on it. But let me just do some research. And then obviously we found out the details today. So the inspector actually told the owner, because it wasn't like I told the owner. The inspector was on three-way and told the owner. It was the previous management, and she even told him the name and who she contacted there, how many times she emailed, how many times she called, and he was, you know, he's still.
And how much did you pay her to say that to him?
$13.99.
4,500.
So yeah, so he had to send $4,300.
Yeah, so let's go through it. So they could reach out to the city or the county and go, hey, listen, I have an issue here, you know, and it's this place is inhabitable because it's being overran by rats.
The right way to do it would be for them to reach out to whoever the maintenance team is, the management team, and or the owner, and say, hey, I have a mouse or rat issue.
Right, but it seems like they did that.
Right. If they don't do that, then obviously that's your thing. But see, what happens too, you know, playing devil's advocate, what happens is some people take advantage of the municipalities, right? So they don't even call the owner. They'll just go straight to the municipality, right?
Right.
And then get them involved. And, you know, I don't know. They treat you like, kind of try to bully you, if you will. Right.
Right. Because that's their leg to stand on. Right. You know, they're going to use that to their advantage.
Yeah. Yep. So, but yeah.
My thing here would be at the end of the day, why not? I mean, then they better not resign their lease. I mean,
I would give a 30-day notice like right away. And this is grounds for, you know, being able to break your lease, because just like a tenant is held to a standard in lease, so is an owner.
That's a gem. It's a gem.
1,000%.
Yeah. It's a gem. So
1,000%.
It's not one-sided here. Even if you live in a Republican state, it's still at the end of the day.
Yeah, a lease is a lease.
A lease is a lease.
Yeah.
And if you can't hold up to your side of the bargain,
yeah,
we could do what we got to do. That's why I said what. Excuse me. That's the reason why I said that. I said what are their rights?
Yeah.
Because their rights are to live in a habitable place, safe place,
healthy and safe. Health and safety. Health and safety is number one.
If we're eating next to poop, we're not doing that.
I got another story.
It's just so shut up with your story. It's just so weird. it's just so weird to me that, you know, I think I speak for all three of us here. We can never get a phone call and with something like that and go, listen, you know, spaces where there's no poop, find a spot, enjoy your dining food.
What?
I mean, and to be honest, I'm not going to give you prices, but it's not 4,300. You waited till now. You have to spend 4,300 because you did not do the proper steps and proper.
Well, that's different though. That's different because he didn't know that they were trying to contact him. They contacted the old management team for a year, and the management team didn't say anything.
True.
Right?
True.
So you got to give. So it's not like it was direct contact. This lady here.
Yeah, my example, the owner wasn't this lady.
She.
Yeah.
Yeah, she told us.
How could you say? You know what I'm saying? You know it. It's direct to you.
Something like this.
My other question would be. Sorry to cut you off, D.
Yeah, bro.
Why did you still pay rent?
But we don't know if we did or not. I mean, and that is
if you weren't getting paid, then the landlord is looking for their money. So I'm looking for my money. What's going on with the payments? And if you say something about rats, that means he was getting paid, or he didn't care about the money, or that person didn't care about the money.
And legally, I know that somebody in the video we watched last week made a claim that in certain states you don't have to, you can withhold rent if certain things are not in place. But we're in the market that we're in, that's not legally true. Like if you have a broken light fixture, that does not give you legal rights to withhold your rent. If you have a rat issue that we don't know about it, or even if we know about it and we haven't gotten to it in the 30-minute call that you gave us, that does not give you legal rights to withhold your rent.
What about, so this is the thing I'm talking about. Good that you said that. A year.
What about a year?
You just said that the person that you just picked, we just picked up a client. They were trying to contact for a year.
Yeah.
There's no way in that sense of I don't have to pay.
No.
Seriously.
Yeah. Well, legally, obviously, there's not. But if you go to court, see, it's like, again, it's all circumstantial. You go to court, and if you can, the tenant could document that there was abuse, that there was neglect for a year. So if they try to take her to court to evict her, they'll never win that case because she has proof of neglect. But technically, she should still be paying, or if she doesn't pay her rent, she should still have her rent money in like an escrow account, right? And show receipts, showing that I don't not have the rent. I got the rent. Absolutely. I'm just not going to give it to you until you do what you're supposed to do. 100%. I never advocate for that, but if you're going to withhold, that's the way to do it.
Right. Because what you're doing, you're taking a card, the H from the landlord is going, listen, they're just paying. They're not paying because they ain't got it.
Right.
Yep. That's why they're not paying. So, and now if you can go.
Right. Yep. You just got to show receipts and, money order receipts. And have them in escrow account from June, July, August. You know what I'm saying? It's here. It's not like I got it. It's still here. Yeah. But you won't get it because you're not doing the right thing. Like it's been months. Like there's no excuse for that. There's no excuse for that. Like I don't care what your life looks like, how big of a company, how small of a company, whatever it looks like. There's no excuse for somebody living in a situation where they have to sit on a table where there's any kind of feces on the table.
1000%.
I don't care what it is. You know what I mean? Any kind of feces. So
I agree 100%. So
I got a quick story real quick, right? Crazy. This doesn't even, when I say it, it doesn't even sound true. So we had a lady who was, you can't tell me no different. She had some real bad mental health issues, in my opinion, right? So she lived in a property and
allegedly.
So we managed, we took this property over. And when we took it over, this tenant was in there. We had her years before in another unit and we evicted her. And she was just a nutcase. Like she was just all over the place. Right. So now a couple of years go by, we get a new property that we're managing and she's a tenant. So there's a certificate of occupancy that's up. We send out our staff to go handle the certificate of occupancy. This lady, like when we go there and fix a wall, she'll break a hole in the wall. When we go to fix a door, she'll take the handles out of the door and throw it in the garbage. When we go to like, if it says the floor, if the floor is ripped or broken, and we'll go repair it, like the little metal strip that goes like in between a room.
Yeah.
We'll put down one of those new. She'll peel it up. Right. She did this like 3 times. So I'll send our guys to do the work. They'll go do the work. We'll set a reinspection. The inspector will go out. And then when we go out, everything that they just did is not done because she just did it. So now I never had experience with this lady. But my wife was telling me, hey, that's what she did at the last property. That's why we evicted her. So then I'm like, okay, so now whenever we do the work, we got to have the inspection the same day. So what we're going to do is we're going to schedule an inspection for like 3:00. I'll send my guys out there at 8 a.m. We'll do the job, 3:00. I'm not going to let them leave the house. They're going to stay there all day. So she makes a complaint that there's rats in her house, right? She says, there's rats in my house. There's rats in my house. She lived in a 3-unit. She lived in an upstairs apartment in a 3-unit building. We sent an exterminator out there. He did bait and trap, and there was no high trafficking. There was mice, there was not rats, but it was, a couple here, whatever that looks like. He took care of it. We have the receipt. The day comes that the inspector is coming to the unit. My guy goes there 8 in the morning. My two guys, they go there 8 in the morning. They fix all the property. 11:30, my guy calls me. Hey, I'm gonna go to lunch. I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna leave for a half hour. I'm gonna come right back. Okay, no problem. He leaves for lunch.
She don't pick up. She don't open the door.
She does the same thing, bro.
Oh shit!
While he goes to lunch,
he didn't know she was coming. He was coming back.
She thought he was not coming back. So he comes back from lunch. She starts peeling up. He calls me. He sends me pictures because I told him, send pictures when you're done. Sure enough, she did it. So I said, fix it again because she didn't break it. She just peeled it. She didn't break the handle. She just took it and threw it in the garbage. So he, grabbed all the stuff. He put it back on, right? So the inspection's at 3:00. I go to the inspection. I get there at 2:30.
Now you there. Now
My guys come downstairs. We're talking to the city inspector. We go upstairs. When we go upstairs,
she did it again.
Nope. I don't know where she got it from. She had, like the sandwich bags your kids have, like their sandwiches in for lunch. Bro, she took a sandwich bag of rat poop and put it all over her sofa, all over her kitchen counters, and on the bottom of her refrigerator. Swear to God, I can't make it up.
Let me ask you a question. Is she just smarter than you guys?
It sounds like it. So we fail that inspection. We send out an exterminator again. We have to because they have to have the receipt. 2-3 days later, there's a windstorm, right?
Yeah, let me ask you a question before you start that.
Yeah.
Is this is our property or this is a owner's property?
This is an owner's property.
He hates you. Because he don't believe you.
He wouldn't if I didn't have the pictures and the proof in the pudding type of thing. But so this happens. We ain't done with the story. Wait till you figure how much more he hates me. So 3 days later, there's a windstorm. It blows off partial of the roof. Remember, I told you it's a 3-unit property. She lives upstairs.
Oh,
it blows off a part of the roof, like the shingles, and it's raining in her kitchen.
It's over.
Right? So the water's leaking in her kitchen. This happened on like a Thursday at like 4:00 in the afternoon. I send my guys out there Thursday night, 7:30, 8:00. They're on top of the roof tarping it because it's her and I don't want no smoke, right? I already, I got to get it done because I already know. Yes, you do. Top notch pressure. The next day, my guys are over there tearing off that portion of the roof, fixing the roof, getting it right. Whatever. Go get the reinspection. We pass. A month later, I got a lawsuit. The lady sues my company for $6,000 because her sofas, her kitchen table, right, and her bed set was ruined from rats and rain.
Wait, hold on. So it rained in the kitchen, but somehow it got to her room. It got to the sofas, and I understand the kitchen table, and the rats were chilling on the bed with her.
Make it $650. I let it go.
Let's make it better. She didn't even have a kitchen table. Oh, she did not have a bed.
We threw that out.
She had a sofa. She had 2 sofas. She had like a love seat and then like a bigger sofa. She used to sleep on the bigger sofa. That was her bed.
Yeah,
but the crazy part is that they're in the house, so he knows she don't have that stuff, regardless of what she's gonna lie and say to them.
Yeah, but the judge wasn't in that house. She provided paperwork. Right. She provided paperwork. She provided a receipt for a bed purchase. So the judge asked her, "Where are the pictures?" Because I said, "Listen, that lady didn't even have a bed. I have a picture of the room with no bed on the day of the inspection. I have a picture of the sofa." Because she said the sofa was brand new. They just bought it for $6,000.
Where's the receipt?
Exactly. I have a picture of the sofa. This is not a brand new sofa. And I have a picture of the kitchen with no table. So I provided all that. The judge granted her $3,000.
So sick.
For her furniture, for her bedroom, for her living room.
Cha-ching.
We had to pay $3,000. Well, the owner had to pay $3,000.
You had to pay her $3,000. And she's not paying rent.
Yep. She's not paying rent, and then she moved out like a month later.
Now on to the next one.
Yeah.
On to
Oh,
the next one. That's
sugar,
good.
man. Oh,
You
shit.
you said, allegedly she might be mentally unstable. I think
Tell you what,
I think she got you.
she's probably a rocket scientist. I take back my
Rocket
comment.
scientist. Yo, I need her and her ways on my side.
You guys got any vacant units you want to
Yeah, absolutely. It's called Never.
It's on Never Boulevard.
Yeah, Never Boulevard.
I'll tell her to fill out an application February.
Unbelievable. So therefore that's with DT storytelling and the Rat Queen. The story. That's our perspective on that. Like I said, we're not always, just because we're landlords and whatnot, and we deal with stuff, it doesn't mean that we're gonna always side with the landlord. On something like that. If that's true, what we're told here, obviously we're gonna side with the tenant. And
sure.
like you said, you have a way to force the issue. You can ask the county or the city to take action. So you have options, or like you said, in 30 days I'm out of here because you didn't hold up your end of the bargain.
Yeah.
So there's ways. Definitely don't ever feel stuck, especially if you're a good tenant.
And people will say, why wouldn't the tenant just leave? Well, sometimes they're not financially stable to be able to pay for another security deposit, move their furniture. They might not have all the, that's a big nut to swallow. You know what I'm saying? To be able to take all your family, your property, and just relocate. You know what I mean? It's tough. So, yeah,
absolutely. So with that being said, we have one here labeled the bathroom incident.
Another one, swimming in cold water.
This sounds great before you even start.
It's the lady upstairs that was washing her clothes in this.
COVID water.
I once had a landlord that ignored my maintenance requests all the time. One time, the bathroom doorknob broke off while I was in the bathroom, locking me in. Luckily, I had my phone with me and was able to call my apartment's emergency maintenance line. No one answered for 2 hours, so I had to break down my door to get out. My landlord called back 12 hours later and asked if I was still locked in my bathroom. I was a single woman living alone at the time, and the experience was very traumatic. Go. How did you lock yourself in there? You know what I'm saying? Was the doorknob, did you break the doorknob? Was it loose and you should have fixed it already? Like, is this, man, that's tough. What type of doorknob is this? Is it what we're talking about here? What type of doorknob is this?
I'm gonna be honest.
You're in the bathroom and it goes, boop.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. If that's the story, let's just assume that this tenant is for the most part is a straight shooter. Like, we don't have any issues. We got to get a great rapport.
We're giving a lot of people. Hold on. Are you say that again? What are you saying? The tenant is a straight shooter as far as being a good tenant, or
good tenant, huh?
Or a straight shooter as far as like telling the truth about the story?
No, good tenant, just being a good tenant.
Okay.
Like, I'm assuming that this is true, right? So let's just say this person who is reporting this story is a good tenant, straight shooter. Always been just a pleasure to work with, if you will. Obviously, does the right thing, and we have a good relationship. And she says she broke the door. I mean, it is what it is. The door has to be repaired. Stuff happens. It's part of what happens.
Who's getting charged?
The owner's gonna have to repair that.
1000%. Because
it's no fault of her own, right? It's not like she maliciously did it. It's it's a freak accident, if you will. Now, on the other hand, if the tenant, if there's some questioning there with character or whatever the case may be, if this is one story of 12 that I hear a year, it's a different story. This is going to be charged to the tenant. You know what I mean? Because chances are your kids were playing. One kid locked the other kid in the bathroom. They broke the door, and this is your story you tell me. You know what I'm saying?
So a question that audience will ask. You ignored my text. You ignored my maintenance calls. I have receipts on that.
No, you don't, because you said I answered the phone in 2 hours.
12 hours. Wait, let me see. I got it right here. I got it right here, fellas. 1 second. No one answered for 2 hours.
2 hours. Somebody
I had to break down my own. Yeah.
So somebody answered the phone after 2 hours.
I once had a landlord that ignored my maintenance requests at all times.
Oh, you did?
No, it says that here.
If you're not reading, Papa,
let's break it down. Let's break it down, guys, because now we're starting to get into it, and you just made a great point, because this is some of this is it's kind of contradicting. I once had a landlord that ignored my maintenance requests all the time, right? And then it says no one answered for 2 hours. Then it says my landlord called back 12 hours later.
Which one's the truth?
So what are we talking about? I'm confused.
So let me paint you a picture.
Oh, please do so.
I called you a couple times before about my door. You don't answer. You don't say nothing. You ignore my calls. Now I get locked in the door. I get locked in the bathroom. I call for 2 hours. I don't hear nothing from you. Now you do answer and go, hey, but I'm talking to the property manager. Hey, I'm locked in my bathroom. Blah 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 blah, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. 12 hours later, they just check up on you and go, hey, everything's all right still? That's how it usually goes. Are you okay? Everything great? My man, I've been out.
Well, so my question is, so why no one answered for, all right, so she's just calling for 2 hours.
She's calling for 2 hours.
So no one answered for 2 hours. I kept calling for 2 hours straight. Right? Then eventually I just said, screw it, I'm breaking down the door.
Yep.
She should be a fireman. But I'm breaking down the door, and my landlord didn't call back.
Fireman. You on the roll today, bro? Go ahead.
That was an organic comment. I like it.
That's organic.
This is never gonna.
Audience
will never know what we're talking about, but I know I'm never gonna live this down. This
ain't absolutely manufacture that. That wasn't even manufactured. I can appreciate that.
So my thing is, if the landlord ignores you and never calls you ever again, what made this time different? What made this different?
It wasn't different. It was an emergency this time, though.
So you think maybe it's the first emergency?
I was locked in
what it sounds like.
Yeah.
So I'm calling 40,000 times, but this is a receipt, D. I'm telling you, I called 30 times in 2 hours. This is a receipt.
Yeah.
So if I say I called you, hey, look, this is what I called. The right number, everything's right. Somebody picked up. I already kicked down the door. The landlord is paying for this.
Yes, little $600 bill, you'd be all right.
So
you be all right.
We agree that, you know what, the landlord will pay for
Doors get broken every day, B. You be all right.
It was an emergency, right? But at the end of the day, she had to kick herself out and get herself out of there. So the landlord is gonna have to foot that bill, right? So my last thing on this one, it says, I was a single woman living alone at the time, and the experience was very traumatic. Now, is that reaching to say it was traumatic?
No.
Let me.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No,
Because you can't tell nobody what they feel.
That's a fact. Let me tell you why. Another story.
I disagree. Before you get to the story, that story about the television, I disagree. I disagree 100%.
Okay.
Let me tell you something. You got a toilet in there. You got water that comes out the faucet. You can take a shower. You have all your necessities to live. You know what I'm saying? And so somebody gets to you. So
until you can't eat.
It's not like you were locked in the closet. You got nothing to drink.
Until you can't eat. What the hell are you talking about, bro?
You don't have to eat for weeks. You know what I'm saying? As long as you with the with the water, you're fine. You're fine. You're not gonna stink. You're not gonna smell. I mean, I understand.
This comment comes from Hercules, who dismantled the door. You know what I'm saying? I get it. Listen, buddy, I understand. When you look to the point, to the right and the left, your biceps hit you in your neck. I understand. Okay, we're talking about a young lady, right? So, all jokes aside, though, people, you can't tell somebody how to feel. People have traumatic situations that they have in their past and they suffer from. There are people that I've had experience with that you can't even close a door behind them too aggressively, because they're like battered women, childhood issues with, abuse and all types of crazy stuff. So, if there was some type of issue that somebody had went through in their past that, who knows, their parent might have locked them in the bathroom back in the day. Their husband might have locked them in the bathroom in the back of the boyfriend or something like that. Now, you know, they're locked back in the bathroom again. It
Or
could
even
take
just
them to,
claustrophobic. You know, they could be.
yeah,
in
you
there
know what I'm
like,
saying.
I
So
don't know
that's
how
why,
good
you
I'm
know,
gonna
you can't really. That's why you can't really tell somebody how
Of
to
course.
feel.
And I was joking, of course, you know, but at the end of the
Now
day,
you were.
I don't think you were joking.
then
Yeah, now you were.
I gotta do damage. So I was joking, you know.
Don't kill me, guys. Don't kill me. I didn't really think that one out before I said that.
In the comments, yeah, right. He was not joking. But at the end of the day, you know, that is to feel like you can't get out of something.
Right.
Absolutely.
You know, like you're
Absolutely.
buried alive in your bathroom, you know, and you're like, I can't. What can I do? You know, and it can be a traumatic event for sure, for
Yeah.
sure. You
Yeah.
know, but at the end of the day, I'm glad she got out, and hopefully,
Ain't gonna be no
once
R.
again,
Kelly's
the
around
landlord
here.
did the
Pal.
right thing.
Ain't gonna be no R. Kelly. Ain't gonna be no R. Kelly's around here.
No, locked in the closet.
No.
So I what I do hope is that the landlord did the right thing, took care of it.
1,000%.
But
1,000%.
he's probably like,
I think we all agree that we would have taken care of it if that would have been our turn, right? Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Easy.
That's somebody's mother. That's somebody's daughter. Somebody's,
Yes,
you know what I'm saying? Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So I have one more for you guys. All right. It's called mold maintenance. I had a landlord who rented out her old 4-bedroom house to 5 people. We had literal black mold in our bathroom that was out of control. We begged her to get someone to come in, look at it, and instead she came to clean the bathroom and painted over the mold. I want to know how legal that is. Hold on. She told us that if it came back, we would have to pay for a professional cleaning agency to come in and clean the bathroom. Talk to me. I know DT is right your alley. I know it's right your alley. So tell me how legal that is to have black mold, people there, you know, and you paint over it.
Oh, this is one that's very near and dear to my heart. All right.
Yo, you, I'm gonna call you DT to the storyteller. Okay?
You
got it. Yeah.
Like, come on, Slick Rick. Tell us about.
We can all talk about stories, but how he speaks about stories, brother,
Yeah.
My man. Go ahead, kid.
Before you get into a story, though, I want just the legality of it, right? I want to know, is that legal to just come in here and cover up black mold with paint?
No.
But what the hell was all this?
Why don't you say absolutely no?
What was all this?
Because 9 times out of 10, it's not black mold.
I was waiting for you to say it because it's definitely, you don't know what black mold's on until you test it.
Most people don't even never
correct.
seen black mold, won't see black mold, and you know it. You know, and you know, I don't want to discredit. So I'm not a mold analysis specialist or nothing like that. But when I know black mold, when I see black mold,
1,000%.
just because you see something on your wall that looks like mold that just so happens to be black, does not mean that it's black mold, right?
Preach.
People, especially in places that get moist, you know, bathrooms, kitchens, basements, right? You have things that look like black mold that are black, and it is a mold form, but it's not the black mold that can hurt and affect you, the most dangerous and poisonous version of that. There's something that's called surface mold, and it could be black, and people mistake that regularly, common base regularly. So, and it's a very common thing in bathrooms, especially when you take showers and baths and you don't have an operating vent fan or an open window, so that the circulation and ventilation happens properly. So that mold obviously creates that's why you see it most of the times on ceilings, right on top of like your showers or around that area of your showers. Sometimes you even see it
over that though.
Well, yeah. So yes, there's what's called a mold blocker. It's like a mold sustainer, then a mold blocker, and it's in the form of paint, right? So you're supposed to clean it first, and then paint over it, which kind of mobilizes it, it sustains it, and then you paint over that again, and then it seals it. It's a protection over it.
Right. And you do that with black mold as well, or do you have to approach that?
No, black mold is a totally different thing. That's an abatement. You have to remove it. Yeah, that's a whole separate process. That involves respirators, negative air pushers, and sealing off and blocking off units. Like it's a process.
And how crazy is the landlord going in there like, yeah, I'm just gonna paint it. Don't worry about it.
Right,
Good.
right. If it's black mold, they're you know, it's not something that if you're in the same room as it, you're gonna die. You know what I mean? It's something that if you notice it, yes, you should call a professional company that does mold abatement and mold removal to get rid of it. Typically what people do with that is obviously, like I said, they'll either cut it out, they'll actually cut that surface out and replace it. Or
even the corks on the tub, they take the cork out, throw out the cork, cork it.
Yeah. And caulking is normally typically not black mold.
Correct.
That's like surface mold. It just gets
Surface
dirty
mold,
and right. And then just like you said, they'll take the caulk out and then they'll recaulk it, clean it really nice and recaulk it or whatever. But yeah, so near and dear to my heart because we get that like lots and lots. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I got black mold. Why do you expect me to pay? You don't have black mold. You don't have black mold. You have a vent fan. And then, you know, we go check it. Is the vent fan out? The easiest, this is a gem right here for most people. Nobody really knows this, right? Not nobody, but most people don't.
Guys, listen, everybody pay attention.
Pay attention.
Nobody knows this.
Nobody. This is it's top secret. You're
Nobody
never
knows this.
Go to your bathroom. Right?
This is top secret.
You know how your tissue paper that you wipe your behind with, it comes in like little square sections, right? Take one square off, turn on your bathroom fan, take that piece of tissue, stick it to your bathroom fan. If your fan is on and you put that tissue up there, if the fan doesn't hold the tissue to the vent, then your vent is not operating properly. It's clogged. No, nobody. It's top secret.
Absolutely. Want to talk about hidden gem?
Kidding me?
There's a hidden gem right there. The Secret Service don't even know stuff like that.
You know, we're going to change the world with that comment. No, this is going to be our key to success. We're going to paraphrase. Actually, we're going to change our entire dynamic. We're going to rebrand ourselves to a square of toilet paper and a fan. Nobody knows this. But yeah, so that
don't be a square VR fan. You know?
That's the first thing I do when I go to somewhere and I have a vent fan. It's just natural. Boom, take a tissue paper, stick it up there, turn it on. Okay, if it sticks, we're good. We know we're venting properly on that, right? So then the next thing is, do you turn on your fan when you take a shower? Some tenants don't do that. So then sometimes what I'll do is I'll have the electrician wire it together with the light fixture.
Every time you turn it on, it goes automatic.
Exactly. So those are just little small keys, you know.
Yeah, that's another gem.
Yeah.
That's another gem. Tell your electrician, put it all together.
Who would have thought that we'd have woke up and changed our life with just that comment?
We changing one bathroom at a time.
And that was organic.
That's right.
Oh man,
this type of night it is, fellas. This type of night it is. Unbelievable. So with that being said, what do you think about the landlord's approach to it? Saying, hey, listen, if this comes back, it's on you to go pay for it.
Yeah,
that's not.
No, the right thing to do. He should have at that point, instruct. If there's a fan there, he should instruct them on how to use it. If it comes back, right? If he already instructed them how to use it, if he properly cleaned it and cleaned the surface and painted it and prepped it and did what he's supposed to do on his end, and it comes back again, then at that point is when you wire it with the light fixture. You clean it again, you do what you got to do on your end, and then that should eliminate the problem.
First off, explain what you're doing.
Right.
If you're not going to explain and you go up, this is what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to paint. That's what it is. They're panicking. All they know is black mold.
Mm-hmm.
So if you explain it to them, look, this is not that type of black mold. This is what it is. I'm going to clean it up. You shouldn't be getting it again if you put the fan on. If you don't put the fan on and you get it back, I will come back and then I'll have to do what I have to do on my side. But you're not gonna tell me you just walk in there and get the hell out of there.
Yeah,
they're gonna be crazy in there.
They don't have the knowledge because they think it's just paint.
Yeah,
how about crazy?
How about when you walk into a property and they tell you, "Yo, I got mold in my bathroom. All right, take me upstairs. Let me see it." When you go upstairs, they're like, hold on, let me go get my mask. Okay, no problem. I already got my mask on because it's COVID. So I go upstairs and then they put their mask on and they walk in the bathroom. They're like, you see? That's why everybody in this house got COVID because of that mold.
It's that COVID water.
Everybody's sick in here.
This COVID water is knocking people out, man.
Oh my God. Some of the stuff you hear is amazing.
It's unbelievable.
But yeah, as the owner, you definitely should explain what you're doing to Jerry. That's a good point because they don't know. They don't know, and you don't want to just go in there and duct tape and paint something and be like, "Hey, I fixed it." They're like, what? Explain to them. Hey, this is a mold remover. This is a blocker. This is a sealant. This is a coat doing this. Please make sure you use the fan. If that this when you turn on the shower, the moisture goes through the fan. That's the purpose of it. If you don't, it's going to keep coming back, and hopefully they'll use common sense.
Let me help you. Help you.
Let me help you. Let me help you. Help me. Absolutely.
Yeah. Listen. At the end of the day, things have to be explained to tenants. Not a lot of people, they don't know everything. They don't know the ins and outs. If you've been around for a long time, you've been a landlord for a long time, and you've seen a lot more than they have. Explain it to them. Put them at ease. That's the best way. That's the best way to do it. I mean, you don't want to go in there and escalate the situation. They're already scared. They already think it's black mold. De-escalate. Let them know. Hey, listen, this is what this is. This is what I'm doing. And you guys should be fine. But listen, here's the rules in place. If you guys don't want this to come back, put on the fan, open a window, whatever that looks like, right? And if you do want to take that approach and make them pay for it, you go, hey, listen, I kind of got the problem. I took care of it this time. I see the problem. We're not putting on the fan or we're not opening up a window. I need you guys to do that because if I got to come back and I got to seal this again and clean it again, I'm gonna foot you the bill, and it's gonna be on you guys. There's a way to approach things. It's and when you just go in there like that, like a bull, it's you can't you catch more honey, you catch more bees with honey. There you go. You catch more bees with honey.
Oh, that was manufactured.
You like that one? Listen, I can't stand these guys. But listen, those are our breakdowns. If you guys have anything else you want us to review, any horror stories, any great things, whatever it is, let us know. Send it to us. We'll break it down for you, review it as well, Absolutely. Give you our perspective, and then we'll go from there. But once again, thank you guys very much. We appreciate it, H.G.R.G family, and we'll see you on the next one.
What they say? I'm so divine, I'm so divine. Imperfection, perfection, my presence shines. My mental's parasailing maritime. They say I'm destined to read the palm line.